Let me start again today by quoting the scripture that says, we understand God by studying creation or the work of his hand. He said, for the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and God, so they are without excuse. Another translation says that God's eternal power and character cannot be seen. But from the beginning of creation, God has shown what these are like by what he has made. And that is why those people don't have any excuse. I would like to state that some of the languages used in scriptures are based on the limitation and understanding of the people at that time. The scripture is going to be written today. You're going to see some changes in the word use, word like energy, frequency, and vibration. For example, love, joy, and peace make you to be at a high frequency of vibration, but anger, hatred, and fear make you to be at a low frequency of vibration. That is why as long as you're in Christ, which means you are full of love, joy, and peace, evil power cannot harm you because you are above them due to your high frequency of vibration. God has set up different systems on the earth, and this making not to interfere in the way the earth operates every time. System like water cycle, carbon cycle, phosphorus cycle, nitrogen cycle. He has also put similar system in our body to enable every human being to manifest their desire, their heart desire. And this is the focus of this series on unveiling the operating system. Unveiling the operating system for manifestation. Unveiling the operating system for manifestation. So tonight we're looking at the topic to manifest, choose imagination over logic. Choose imagination over logic. The natural thing is to choose logic over imagination. But my recommendation tonight is to choose imagination over logic. Choose imagination over logic. A successful reality leads to what others call delusion. You have to be delusional to achieve your desired reality in this life. And guess what? That is fine. You are said to be delusional because you are imagining in your heart to get or achieve what does not appear realistic. And do you know what? The question I ask people is, what do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? What do you have to lose using your imagination? Because you are given by God for a reason. You are given by God for a reason. And if you do not utilize it well, it will affect you. A minute, please. A minute, please. Over logic. Choose imagination over logic. You don't have anything to lose. God gave you a mind that you're supposed to use. But because, last week I talked about the logic, the fact that you have left brain that is logical and right brain that is emotional and illogical, and that the reason God gave us both is because we need both of them. If we don't need both of them, He will have given us one. Because we're in this world and there's so much things that we don't have control over. But He has created the world in a way that the way we use our mind influence the kind of frequency we emit, and to a large extent determine what become of our lives. Imagination is superior to logic. The people that are able to create any meaningful thing in this life are people that have vision, people that envision, people that use their imagination. Because anything you are going to create physically, you must first create it in your mind. Everything is created twice. First in your mind, before you bring it into reality. So if you don't learn to use your imagination, you might not be able to create anything in this life. So if you see someone that is very creative, it's because it's used his mind to imagine and create it mentally first before it manifests in reality. The easiest way to live a sad and unfulfilled life is to remain realistic and to be logical in all that you do. Remain realistic and logical in all that you do. As long as you remain realistic and logical, you'll likely be happy because you're always using logic and realistic. So that means even though you desire a better life, you can envision it. And because you can envision it, you can create it. Then the person live a very, very sorrowful life. The way to live a mediocre life is to remain realistic. Only delusional people with great imagination end up achieving it. To be realistic is to stay with boundaries of what others have described as being possible based on what you can see. So when you say realistic, you are looking at what others have defined or described as being possible based on what you can see. Based on what you can see. A minute, please. I'm having some disturbances. Like I was saying, sorry for the interruption. The way to remain mediocre in life is to be realistic. Only delusional people with great imagination end up achieving anything. To be realistic is to stay within the boundary of what other has done. Those that are delusional are the ones that try to do what people have never done before. Why? Because they use their imagination. Because they use their imagination. But those that are realistic, they won't be able to do anything great in life because they are always being realistic. You know, those that are realistic, I think they're just being proud. You know why? How can you be living in the world of 1% and think that you need to feel it, see it, taste it before you can believe it's possible? Because your eyes see 0.0035% of what actually exists. 0.0035% of reality. If that's what you can see, how come you think you must feel it, perceive it? There's so much happening that you cannot see, that you cannot feel, that you cannot perceive. So much. So much. So much. So you cannot stay within the boundary that I must see it, feel it, perceive it, for me to believe it. Why? Because your eye sees only 0.0035% of reality. Your eye sees 0.0035% of reality. So if you want to use your logic, for me, it's not even sound logical because you really don't have access to all that exists. So you are judging based on 1% of your perception, or based on 1% which your perception can pick up. The electromagnetic spectrum includes a wide range of wavelengths from radio to gamma ray. Human eyes are sensitive only to a portion of this spectrum, which is known as the visible light spectrum. This spectrum consists of a wavelength approximately 380 nanometer to 750 nanometer. The visible light spectrum is just a tiny fraction of the entire electromagnetic spectrum. It is the electromagnetic spectrum, that's why we have the light rays, radio wave, gamma rays, X-rays. The vast majority of electromagnetic radiation include ultraviolet, infrared, microwave, radio wave, X-ray, and they are not visible to human eye. But guess what? We are using them every day. Your phone is using it because we know it exists. But because your eyes, what your eye can see is very limited. How do you see light ray falls on an object and reflected to your eyes? The light ray refracts through your conjunctiva, pass through your aqueous humor, vitreous humor lens, and gets to your retina, hit the rod and coat cell there, and then send a message through the optic nerve to the brain. That is how you perceive. That means anything that cannot reflect light, you cannot see it. Anything that cannot reflect light, you cannot see it. When the statement indicates that only 0.0035% can be seen, it emphasizes how minute our perception is. Compared to what truly exists in the universe. This statement can also be interpreted philosophically, suggesting that human perception is limited and that there is much to reality than what we can see with our eyes and understand. It underscores the idea that there are many aspects of existence, such as emotion, thought, and certain physical phenomena that are beyond the capacity or capability of our senses. In a broader context, this statement can reflect the limitation of scientific understanding and recognition that there are many phenomena that exist. And this includes things like dark matter, dark energy, and various quantum processes, but are not directly observable or comprehensible with our current tools or senses. I'm taking time on this to lay a foundation on the fact that logic will fail you if you depend only on logic. You can't depend only on logic in this life. You can't depend only on logic in this life. And I'm not discounting logic. I'm saying choose imagination over logic. In summary, the statement highlights the limited scope of human perception and suggests that there is a vast, complex reality that extends far beyond what we can see with our eyes. It invites curiosity about nature of existence and the potential of discovering and understanding more about the universe. Now, if the statement say our eyes see only 0.0035% of reality, that means we did not see or we can't see the other 99.9965% of reality because our naked eyes do not have the capacity to see it. Why? Because we see through refraction of light passing through our eyes, stimulating the retina to send a message to the brain and tell us, oh, this is so and so. Oh, that's color red. Oh, that's color white. Oh, that's color blue. Oh, that's color white. That's where you see. That means because that thing is not opaque and it cannot reflect light, you can't see it. You can't see it. That means in reality, there are more possibilities in the realm of the unseen than what we can see. There are more possibilities in the realm of the unseen than what we can see. There are more possibilities in the realm of the unseen than what we can see. There are more possibilities. Therefore, does it make sense to you to define the potential of what you can achieve in your life by only 0.0035% of reality? Or does it make sense to you for you to define your potential in life from 99.9965%? I'm trying to prove to you the reason you must choose, or the reason you should consider choosing imagination over logic. That means when you are trying to achieve something, don't worry about the logic of how it's going to happen. Visualize it. You don't, even if eventually it doesn't come to pass, you have not lost anything. What if it does? You have not lost anything. In fact, you stand a chance to lose great invention, great solution, great advancement by not using your imagination. By not using your imagination. So it doesn't make sense to define potential of what you can achieve by 0.0035%, but it makes sense for you to define it based on 99% possibility. Therefore, to create reality from possibility or impossibility of others is to be in prison of your mind. That is why Steve Jobs said that it is only people who are crazy enough to believe that they can change the world are the one who are able to get it done. It's only people who are crazy enough to believe that they can change the world that are able to get it done. Those who are crazy enough, those who are crazy enough to believe they can change the world are the ones that get it done. This means that people who are crazy enough to believe that they can change the world are those that use their imagination. Also, Albert Einstein said that imagination is much more important than knowledge. Did you get that? Imagination is much more important than knowledge. According to Albert Einstein, imagination is much more important than knowledge. Imagination is much more important than knowledge. And guess what? Imagination is free. Because everything is created twice. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't use your imagination, you won't be able to create anything. Nothing can be attached to your name that this is your contribution to humanity. Why? Because you are not using your imagination. So with the aid of your mind, you can trick reality to solving your problem using your imagination. Nikola Tesla said, if you want to find out the secret of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Imagination is not just a mental escape. It is viewed as the primary interface or control mechanism for interacting with the fabric of reality.
When are you rounding up?
Of reality.
Bye. Of course.
Let's mind. Imagination is a tuner. In this paradigm, the universe is viewed as an infinite ocean of energy vibrating at different frequency. Everything from a solid rock to a fleeting thought is energy. Look at the radio analogy. Think of your reality as a radio or station. That possibility exists simultaneously. Remember, it is not when you are praying that God is running up and down to answer your prayer. That's a wrong mindset. God has created everything that pertains to life and godliness. All of them already exist. They are not being created because you pray. They already exist. The goal of your prayer is not to change God, but to change you. to change you in such a way that you are internally shifting to a degree that you are no longer emotionally dependent upon seeing reality change and therefore being at a frequency aligned with that desired reality. As long as your frequency is in resonance with what God has created, guess what? It will manifest. It will manifest. So think of reality as radio. All station possibility exist. In a radio, all station exist in a radio. All station exist simultaneously. But you can only hear the one you are tuned to. Can you see that? You can only hear the one you are tuned to. So what's the role of imagination here? Imagination is the dial. When you imagine a specific scenario, you are effectively tuning your mental and emotional state to the frequency of that reality. And when I say choose imagination over logic, the imagination should be followed with emotion. Should be followed with emotion. Should be followed with, because emotion is what gives it energy, because emotion is energy in motion. So you're effectively tuning your mental and emotional state into frequency of that reality. You are shifting your internal resonance to match the external reality you wish to experience. Energy by itself is often considered neutral and formless potential. It requires direction to become something specific. So, imagination, therefore, provides the structure for energy. It acts as a blueprint or a mold. So, when you hold a clear image in your mind, you are informing the energy where to flow. Remember, attention is alignment. Attention is alignment. You can use your imagination to focus your attention on something and you align with that thing. Attention is alignment. So it acts as a blueprint or mold. When you hold a clear image in your mind, you are forming the energy, informing the energy where to flow and what shape it should take. The energy is formless. Your energy is formless. You are giving your energy direction on the shape and form to take through your imagination. Through your imagination. This is so important. Remember, attention is alignment. Attention is alignment. We with an open face, beholding as in a glass, are changed into the same image from glory to glory. From glory to glory. From glory to glory. There is a common maxim in this field of quantum physics where attention goes, energy goes. 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 Imagination is the tool that anchors your attention, preventing energy from dissipating into random thought and focusing it like a laser on something. Focusing like a laser on something. There's a critical distinction in the energy, frequency, and vibration framework. A mere intellectual thought often has a weak vibration. You can think I am abundant. But if you feel anxious while thinking it, your vibration is anxiety. What this is saying is your emotion, your emotional state, while you are using your mind in visualization and imagination, is what determines your attention, not what you are visualizing. Even when you are doing affirmation, if you are saying something, that thing you are saying is important to the extent that you're also feeling the feeling of it happening, of what it will be like when it happens. Imagination evokes feeling. The true power of imagination lies in its ability to trick the nervous system. That's the power of imagination, to trick the nervous system. If you imagine something vividly enough, engaging sight, sound, and touch, your body responds chemically as if it's happening. This emotional response shifts your vibration. If you imagine it well, you are expecting a promotion, you're expecting a job, you're expecting a business. If you imagine it well, you are going to feel the way you would have felt when it happened in reality. When it happened in reality, you're going to feel what you would have felt when it happened in reality. And that is very important because imagination evokes feeling. Imagination evokes feeling. Imagination invokes feeling. Once your vibration, your feeling matches the frequency of your imagination, you achieve a resonance. Ladies and gentlemen, whenever you are able to resonate in your frequency alignment with a possibility in the universe, you attract it to yourself. It is the state of resonance that is attraction happen or manifestation occur. Why Tesla framework of energy, physical, and vibration is often metaphysical. Metaphysical basically means beyond physical, because meta means beyond. It draws parallel to the observer's effect in quantum physics. In quantum mechanics, subatomic particles, photons, electrons, neutrons, subatomic particles exist in a state of possibility. They call it wave potential. But when it is observed, it collapses into a single position, a particle. But that subatomic particle is moving in random motion until it's observed and it collapses. Many proponents argue that imagination is the ultimate act of observation. By consistently observing a desired outcome in your mind eye, you are helping to collapse that specific possibility or probability from the universe into physical reality. In this context, imagination is the engine room of creation. It is the tool that converts static energy into specific frequency, which then alter your personal vibration to resonate with the new reality. Resonate with the new reality. With the new reality. And it's so important. It moves you from being a passive observer of signal to an active broadcaster. Before I close, let me read some scripture to you that talk about visualization, using your mind, envisioning. The scripture does not explicitly state that imagination should be chosen over logic. It does emphasize the importance of faith, vision, and power of your mind and heart in shaping one's reality. Here are some examples. Number one, where there is no vision, the people perish. But he that keepeth the law, happy is he. Someone said you cannot feature in a future you have not pictured because you need to create it first in your mind for it to become reality in your life. This scripture highlights the importance of having vision or imagination of the future. Now, faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. And this scripture emphasizes the power of faith and the unseen, underscoring the value of believing in possibility beyond current reality. Remember, choose imagination over logic. Therefore, I tell you, whatsoever you ask in prayer, believe that you have received and you shall have it. Believe that you have received and you shall have it. This verse points to the power of believing and imagination in manifesting your desired reality. If you believe you have received, then you must envision the reception. Believe you have received and you shall have it. Believe that you have received and you shall have it. You will only be able to have it if you believe you have received it. And you receive it vibrationally. For anything to exist in your life physically, it must first exist vibrationally. For anything to exist in your life physically, it must first exist vibrationally. It must first exist vibrationally. For anything to experience in your life physically, it must first exist vibrationally. Ladies and gentlemen, things does not just happen. We contribute to how they happen significantly to a very large extent in our lives. Whatsoever you desire, when you pray, believe you have received and you shall have it. You can only have what you already have. How do you have it? Through your imagination. How do you have it? Through your imagination. How do you have it? Through your imagination. You can only have what you already have. 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 How do you have it? Through your imagination. That's how you have it. Imagination. Do you know the interesting thing? Most of the time we use our imagination so wrongly. So wrongly. Why do we use our imagination so wrongly? Because many don't even understand what they are doing to themselves by the way you use your imagination. By the way they use their imagination. There is a thin line between the way you use your mind and the reality of your life. There's a thin line between it. There's a thin line between it. Someone said, man is concerned about the reality of his life, but he's not concerned about the reality, about his mind, the way he thinks. How can you be worried about the way your life is without being worried about the way you are using your mind? Because the way you use your mind, what you create with it, is what becomes reality in your life sooner or later. Sooner or later. He replied and said, because you have little faith. Truly I said to you, if you have faith as a mustard seed, you should say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move, and nothing will be impossible to you. This passage emphasizes that even a small amount of faith can lead to a significant change, indicating the power of belief and imagination. Now, a thing that is able to do immeasurably more than what we ask or imagine, according to the power that worketh in us, is able to do exceeding and abundantly, above all you ask or imagine. Above all you ask or imagine. Ladies and gentlemen, your imagination is prayer. Your imagination is prayer. Only that you are not conscious of the fact that your imagination is prayer. So when you imagine dirty things, negative things, bad things about yourself, you are praying. Only that you are praying passively. So you should not be surprised at the result you are getting because you are praying. You're praying. You're praying. You are praying because it's able to do exceeding abundantly above all you ask or imagine. This encourages believers to imagine great things as God is capable of doing exceeding above. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm appealing to you again today. Choose imagination over logic. Choose imagination over logic. Choose imagination over logic. You're trying to achieve something. You are believing God to get a job in a fantastic place, and that place they said it's only people that know politician or that have one connection that get it. Choose imagination over logic. Choose imagination over logic. Whatsoever you ask in prayer, believe you have received. This reinforces the idea that the belief and imagination in prayer can lead to manifestation of desire. The Bible also contains an example of individuals who use their imagination and vision and faith to pursue and achieve their dreams and fulfill purpose in their life. Abraham imagined a future that involved leaving his homeland to follow God's call to a new land. God promised him descendants as numerous as stars, and Abraham believed in those promises, even when it seems impossible. But it was a reality in his life. Joseph had a dream of his family bowing down to him, which was a significant vision of his future leadership. Despite facing numerous hardships, including betrayal and imprisonment, he held on to his dreams and through faith and perseverance eventually rose to a position of power in Egypt. Moses imagined leading Egyptians out of slavery. Despite his initial doubt and fear, he accepted God's call and used his vision to guide the people towards a promised land. David was anointed king while he was still a shepherd. He envisioned a future leader of Israel, as a future leader of Israel, and despite facing challenges, including time in exile. Imagine the way David actually killed Goliath. He said he imagined what he has done in the past. And based on that, envision the possibility of killing Goliath, what many people, even his elder ones, could not do. What imagination does, basically, is to help you to envision what appears impossible. Please do not restrict yourself to the possibility in your field, what has been done. What can you do differently? What can you do to improve on it? What can you do differently? Not just doing what everybody is doing. The essence of the power you have to imagine is to be able to do exceeding and abundantly. Ladies and gentlemen, choose imagination over logic. Look, if you do not, you will remain ordinary, you will remain a mediocre, you will not be able to go far in life because you have restricted yourself within the boundaries of what is possible. Within the boundaries of what is possible. Nehemiah, upon hearing the ruins of Jerusalem, envisioned restoring the city and its wall. He prayed, planned, and took action, inspiring others to join him in rebuilding despite opposition. Esther imagined herself as a queen to save her people from destruction. She displayed courage, faith, as he approached the king, believing that she had been placed in a position for such a time as this. Daniel imagined a different outcome from himself and his friend when he was taken captive in Babylon. He resolved not to defile himself with the portion of the king's meat and sought permission to eat differently, demonstrating faith and commitment to God's principle. The widow of Zarephath, when Prophet Elijah came to her during her time of famine, she imagined that she could provide for him despite her dire circumstance. Her faith led to a miracle of endless supply of flour and oil during the famine period. Faith is accompanied by imagination. The reason you believe is because you see it happen. You cannot believe when you have not seen it. You believe because you can see it. You can see it in your mind's eye. So faith is an evidence of the use of your imagination. In fact, if you say you have faith, that means you believe it is done. For you to believe it is done, then you must have seen it. How do you see? You see it in your mind's eye. How do you do that? Through imagination. And is able to do exceeding abundantly above all you ask or think according to the power that worketh in you. Basically, I'm saying tonight, what is it that you want to do that appear impossible? In fact, the fact it has not been done before or it appears impossible is exactly the reason you should consider it. Most of the things I do in my field are not things I've seen people done before. Why? Just use my imagination and do it anyway. And do it. You should be the light of the world and salt of the earth. You should be a trailblazer and a pathfinder. You should be a light of the world and salt of the earth. You should be a trailblazer and pathfinder. But the only way you will do that is through imagination. Because if you use logic, you will restrict yourself within the boundary of what is possible or what has been done. But use your imagination. You're able to get ideas, see things that never happen, and make you to attempt the impossible, and make you stand out in your field, and you'll be able to contribute your own quota to humanity. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to be a significant human being in your life, meaning you are contributing to humanity beyond your family, you want to be significant, then you must choose imagination over logic. Ladies and gentlemen, now that you know these things, happy and blessed shall you be if you do them. All right, let me hear from you. Good evening, and thank you for joining tonight. How are you today? Chidi, you're number one on my list. Good evening. What have you learned tonight? Good evening. It's not very clear. Are you using hands-free? Are you using hands-free? It's not clear.
Yes. Hello.
Yes, a lot better.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. So today has just been very interesting because a number of things you emphasize are what has been buttressed in all of the engagements I had today for some strange reasons.
Okay.
Right. Um, and it's all boils down to that statement. Choose imagination over logic, right?
Yeah.
And the struggle that I have, right, is it's the way we are wired, especially as humans, right? The we are just designed to be logical for
Yeah.
some strange,
No, 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 no.
right?
This
So
will happen. This will happen. Were you around last week?
I
Your
miss,
your left brain is logic, your right brain is emotional. Its imagination is more illogical. So the school system train your left brain. So you have used your left brain for such a long time that you find it difficult to use your right brain. So it's the wiring created by the educational system. The former educational system train you to use your left brain logic rather than the right. Go ahead.
yeah, I mean that's a clear insight. So the reason why I asked that specifically has to do with, for instance, you're really expecting something, you are imagining something, you're visualizing something, and then somewhere in your head you are logically trying to come up with a way to get it. So I'm trying to find that balance between staying open for the universe to bring it for you to you, and
And
so
trying to
that's
imagine how it will
yeah.
happen.
So like, that you just want to like figure
So,
it out,
so,
but then
so, so this is the way you should do it. What is it that you want to achieve? So, for example, let's say you want to achieve, okay, let's say you need a car. You need a car, for example. Rather than thinking of transaction that will come for you to make the money to buy that car, envision that car. Focus your attention on that result. Don't focus on the process leading to that result. Focus your attention on that result. So print that card, paste it on your wall, see it every day, speak to yourself about it. Just look at the car and imagine yourself in the car. See yourself driving the car to work. See yourself driving the car to the client place. That should be more important to you. Don't leave, I will get a job, okay, I will get this sales, I will make this money, then I'll buy the car. No. What if someone, a client, is just so impressed with the way you have helped him to make money and gift you a car at Christmas? What? So who told you you must buy with your money? Do you understand? So
yeah,
focus on that outcome because it can come through different means. It doesn't have to come the way you think it will come. In fact, if you fixate your attention on the way you think it should come, then you restrict yourself and you will find it difficult to believe that it's even possible because you are fixating on the way you know it will come. That's logic. I don't know if that answers your question.
I mean that helps a lot. That really encourages and reinforces that the idea really. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you.
FOM, good evening. FOM, good evening. Gwin. Hello,
Good evening,
Gwin.
sir. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
FOM, yeah. I know. Long time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I really appreciate the teaching. So I think I've read a book about imagination as in the power of visualization.
Yeah.
So this talk is making me to understand more of what you are saying, sir. Yes, sir. And it makes me to recall when God said to Abraham, even when he did not have any son, did not have any child, he said, look at the star.
He's trying to get him to
So God will.
visualize. He's trying to get him to visualize. Picture the number of children, descendants you're going to have. So he's giving us a template. How it's going to happen, Abraham don't have an idea. But God is painting a picture in his mind. And it's important you have that kind of picture in your mind also. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir. So, even one of my coach always said, he said, you have to be delulu. You have to be there,
Delusional.
like, yes, before you can really make something that is significant. So he said, I think illustration like Elon Musk, like, how can somebody just imagine electric car that
Exactly.
you are not using for again?
Yes.
Just said you are not using the normal thing again.
Mhm.
So it's sticking so seriously outside the bus that
Mhm.
okay, people will now imagine that what if you drive into the wilderness? Are you saying that they were using logic
But
to
that
start
can also
calculating?
affect petrol now. If you drive to the wilderness, there's no petrol station in the wilderness, there's no electricity in the wilderness. So it can affect both of them.
So people were trying to use logic to like query the whole thing, but now it's successful. It's successful,
Yeah.
fully
Because
electric.
he's coming up with what that I said, as long as you want to be logical, you will only be able to do what has been done. If you're going to do what someone have not done, then you definitely must be delusional and use your imagination.
All right, sir. Thank you so
Thank
much, sir.
you. G-Win, I can see your hand. Go ahead. G-Win.
Good evening, sir.
Good
Sorry.
evening.
Yeah, he called me and maybe when you called me first time, I was right. So there was interruption.
Interruption, okay.
Hello, sir. Yes, the call came to cut the connection. So that time, that was why I was
Okay.
able to make up. Yes, sir. Well, sir, for when I joined, and I can say that yes, I've seen gain so much. I really appreciate. You were talking about like God have already provide for us all that we need.
All that pertain
And
to life and godliness.
yes. So they already is not actually the prayer, is just to make ourselves in be the frequency that and to so that we are able to bring it to existence.
Yeah.
So it's not the prayer that actually thinking that it has already been made available. So and really the power of imagination we're talking about, I just really so much impressed with it because most of the time we are so logical really. That is
Yeah.
also like how to really move from that being logical to now being someone that is imagine move from that frequency of what be logical to imagine to be able to imagine, right? So I really still need more enlightenment on that, be able to help me. So I really appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Thank
I don't
you.
know if my is a big pleasure.
You said, oh, you
Yes.
have a question. I didn't get a question. What's the question?
Yes. What I mean is that now to really work on being logical to, from logical to imagination. So
Yes.
how someone able to do that because staying in the frequency of logical for a long time. So don't really, so I
Okay.
don't really
No, the idea is one of the way to do it is to create time for you to do it. Number one, maybe early in the morning. I try to do that in the morning, early in the morning. So create a time. Number two, have a picture. What do you want? If possible, can you get a picture that depicts that thing you want? I try to create a picture and put it on my phone or my tablet because I want to see it in the morning. I want to see that thing. So, because if I'm going to imagine it, I need to be able to see it. If I can see it first, then if I close my eyes, I can continue to see it. The idea basically is I must be deliberate. So create time to use your mind to create what you want. Create that time and be consistent as much as possible. Because what you are doing is tuning to a frequency that align with your desired reality. So if you do not do it and do it as frequently as possible, then you might not be able to manifest that desired reality. So please just create a time, create a mental picture. If you can get a printed document that's depicted, that make it easier. Put it somewhere in your room so you can see it regularly and trying to envision it as frequently as possible, particularly in the morning and in the evening. I don't know if I answer your question.
And thank you very much, sir. I
All
believe
right.
you have really appreciate.
Thank you. Favor, good evening. Hello, Favor, are you there?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. How are you today?
Fine, thank you, sir. Thank you very much, for the session.
Yep.
key things I took away from the session is the fact that we should actually choose imagination over logic.
Over logic, yeah.
Yes, and the fact that you said something around imagination is much more important than knowledge.
Yes.
And for me, that was so that means someone can be knowledgeable, but if the person cannot have a mental picture of it, it means that the possibility of the
The reason is because knowledge make you to stay within the boundary of what has been created. But imagination take you beyond what has been created to what is possible. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Yes,
Yeah.
it does, sir. Yes, it does. He also talked about, I also took away where you said where your attention goes,
Energy
that's where your
flows.
energy will be. And for me, the aspects of faith, where you mentioned faith is established by imagination. You know, we just quote that faith is the substance of things not seeing evidence, and it's like it's more of a head knowledge
Yes, very
to a
correct.
believer than
Very
imagination,
correct. Very
because
correct.
it's something you know that God said, yes, but actually tonight I'm able to see how they correlate, how it's actually supposed to be visualized. Visualization actually means that you're actually pulling that thing to manifestation.
Yeah. A faith that does not visualize is not likely going to manifest anything, because it's not likely. That means you're not seeing anything. And if you're not seeing anything, you won't have the.
So please, sir, I have a question.
Go
I don't
ahead.
know, but the question relates to this to an extent.
Okay.
If somebody visualizes something or imagines something, and it maybe has, okay, maybe I don't want to say has a time frame for it, maybe visualizes something, is there a possibility that a person can visualize and it would not happen for a reason that it's better? So I put that in that way.
The reason
because
is if you visualize,
let's say for instance, I was expecting something to happen, and I've imagined it, I've visualized it, I've meditated, everything that I need to do around that thing, I've done it, and I've gotten to a state where I am not anxious about it, not bothered whether it happens or not. Is there a possibility that there are times when it won't happen at all, but something different or something better would happen?
Two things. Number one, it's possible it won't happen at all if it is not with energy created by emotion. It's not enough to visualize. If the visualization is real, your brain will sense it. So, for example, you visualize a car, and that is on your mind. If you do it well enough, you will begin to feel happy, excited, and the way you will have felt when that car really exists. So if you are not having that feeling that you will have felt when it will exist in your reality, then it's not likely going to manifest, because you're not putting the energy into it. You know, I made a statement in the course of the conversation. I said that you can think I am abundant. That's a thought. But if you feel anxious while thinking it, your vibration is anxiety. You will not have that abundance. Why? Because that imagination is not enough. The feeling that accompanying it was in another direction. And that is more forceful because that is emotion. So one of the reasons why people visualize and nothing happens is because it's not an emotionally charged thought. It doesn't have energy in it. Now, the way it happens, you don't have control over it, which is why it's very important they are very clear on what you want. That's in very clear on what you want in terms of clarity. So, for example, you want a car. What's the type? What's the make? What's the year? What's the color? I say clear. Why? Because if you are not clear, then you might get the car, but not the one you want. I don't know if I'm making sense. So the clarity is extremely important. Does that answer your question?
Yes, I does. Yes, I does.
Okay.
But where it my ask now is where, for instance, you have the clarity, you have the energy, and it doesn't happen. Is there a possibility that something it wasn't supposed to happen, or something better is supposed to happen, or does one get to a stage where you probably, maybe for instance, I had a Toyota Corolla on my mind. I visualized Toyota Corolla, I put in everything, the energy is in it, and then it's not happening. Maybe because in my thoughts, I'm beginning to say, no, I think I need an SUV. An SUV will suit better.
So you already answered the question. Because remember, I said you should be very clear. Very clear. Very clear. So you already answered the question, because now there is double-minded. You are not even sure of what you want. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. I get it now.
You're not sure of what you want. It's important, and this is very important, that you are clear. Let me give you an example. This might be a not so good example, but probably teach someone a lesson. There's a story of someone who he went to visit. Sorry, 1 minute. I'm trying to remember that story. Okay. So he has a friend when he was growing up. That friend came from a very rich home. He from a what's the name? From a maybe an average or not so rich. But I visit this friend when they were in school, I think university or thereabout. So this friend has a driver, a cook, cleaner, different help in the house. That help. So this friend does not do anything in the house because the father can afford every comfort. And this friend is always telling his friend, I wish I'm like this, or that someone is doing everything for me. I wish. So it's always saying it. Do you know somewhere along the line, that thing happened to him? That eventually people were doing different things for him, but do you know why they were doing it for him? Cleaning, bathing, watching, supporting him. Why? Because he became sick, paralyzed, and could not do anything for himself. That desire, he got it, only that he didn't get it the way he wanted it. Another story. This one went to visit his friend in London, and he saw that his friend, he said, "You're enjoying, you are." That his friend was in London. He went on a course, and the company allowed him to go. But while he was there, they were paying his salary, and he was enjoying himself. He was not working, but he was being paid. And he said, when I grow, I want to be like you. I want to be like you. I don't know you do anything. Do you know this guy became sick, and he was taken to London for treatment, and while he was being treated, his salary was being paid in Nigeria. Indeed, he got what he wanted, but not in the way he wanted it. I don't know if I'm making sense. I'm talking about the clarity. It's so important. Clarity of what you. So it's important to be very clear on exactly what you want. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
All right. All right. Mopelola. Mopelola, are you there? Mercy, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
How are you?
I'm all right, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the session. You said a lot of eye-opening stuff. What stood out for me was when you give the example of a radio and how there are different stations and different frequencies.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you mentioned that anything is possible, right? But I hope I got it. I'm still trying to like digest it.
Okay.
But when you imagine whatever you desire, right? It is not enough to just have the imagination. The emotions you have are like the energies that tune you to the particular frequency
Yes.
of. Did I get it right?
Yes.
Okay, yes,
Very
good.
correct.
So the emotions are like the energy that charges up or helps you connect to or
It
attract
empowers the emotion.
whatever. Yeah, it empowers
Sorry,
the
empower the
emotion. So
imagination. Sorry.
yes, sorry. It empowers the imagination. And so you need to, let's say, invoke, you need to have the emotion you will have as though
It has happened.
that, yes. And that was so profound to me because during my meditation sessions, which you encouraged us from like earlier this year,
Yeah.
right, to do, it's been helpful, right? It has helped me, stay calm and all of that.
Good.
And I noticed that sometimes when I'm having difficulty getting stuff and I'm trying to be in a state of calm and I'm trying to imagine things, right? Imagine my desired reality and all of that. I still kind of like feel anxious. I wasn't really able to like reconcile it, but I still kind of feel anxious. My logical mind is still trying to reconcile how what I want is going to be possible. Okay, I'm not even seeing any solution at all. How is this even going to work, right? And so it makes me feel anxious, right? But what you explained, right, it has sort of brought some form of clarity. I don't need to worry about the process, right? I need to just be specific on what exactly I want.
Yeah.
And that emotion I will have when that has finally come in reality, I need to have it now so that I can be able to attract my desired reality. Right. So
look, when you are worrying about how it's going to happen, that is an evidence that you are attached to the outcome. And when you are attached to the outcome, you delay the manifestation of that desired reality. When you are worried about how it's going to happen. Why? The reason you are worried about how it's going to happen is because you are being logical. And you are not supposed to be worried about how it's going to happen. Why? Because God have infinite ways of making it happen. If you know it's going to happen, then why are you praying? Just go and do it.
Sure,
go ahead.
Sure. Yeah, so really that stood out for me. So thank you so much for the session, sir.
All right. Chidi, I see your hand.
Yeah, can you hear me, sir?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, all right. So sorry, as you were speaking, I remember the question I was going to ask, because she said something similar to it. So one of the things about the emotion and imagination thing is, number one, being able to act like that is the reality you are already living, right? So how do I reconcile taking steps towards a goal vis-a-vis not worrying about the process?
If you are going to take steps towards a goal, it should be an intuition coming to you based on your state of consciousness. Because one of the reasons why you meditate is to be in a frequency that give you some intuition and compulsion to take an action. So the action are based on the fact that you believe that through this action, you will see the reality because it's coming to you because you're in a state of consciousness. So you're going to take actions, but the action are not out of fear. If I don't do this now, but this is something that came to you and you feel compelled to do it. I don't know if that answers your question.
So so okay. So that instructions or intuitions that come right at the points where you are aligned are the actions you take vis-a-vis just worrying about the process.
Exactly. Don't worry about the process. So if something comes to your mind on what you should do it. And when you do it, you're not bothered whether it will lead to it or not. Why? Just do what you need to do. You know, the challenge we have as human, and like I said, is because we're very logical, and it's good for us to be logical because that's the way we are trained. Only that it also has it's a balance here. It also has its challenges and downside because you just want to figure everything out. And guess what? You cannot figure everything out. You can't. You can't. And if you accept you can't figure it out, then it makes it easier for you to do what you need to do and not attached to the outcome. Because if you do it and then you didn't see the result the way you expected it and you feel bad, that means you're attached to the outcome. You're attached to the outcome. And by being attached to the outcome, that means you see it as being important. And when something is important for you, whatever you are desperate for, go far away from you. Because desperation is a sign to the God system of the universe that you don't have it. And you can only have what you already have. So if you are not at that place of rest and peace, even though you have done what you think you should do by virtue of intuition that come to you and you're not getting the result, it doesn't, the Father, because you are too keen on what you can see with your eyes. Who told you? Do you know what will happen tomorrow? You don't know what will happen tomorrow. So I only see 0.0035% of reality. So how come you are judging based on what you can see tomorrow? Okay, beginning of the year, I was meditating, an idea came to my mind on something, and I decided to send a particular message to the MD of a number of organizations that we try to market for our services. I've not done that before, and guess what? A number of them responded, and they were paying for the service, for what I asked them about. Now, I've not done it before. It was a good meditation. If I say it to them and they didn't respond, someone didn't respond, I won't be bothered. I did it, I didn't do it. Do you understand? It just I'm not worried about either they respond or they don't respond. I just sent it. And I just saw them showing interest, such that for that particular service, we are doing like times 4, times 5 what we typically do at this time of the year. But I've not done that before. But quite frankly, after I felt compelled to send that message to them, if none of them responded, I will not be bothered. Why? I'm not attached to the outcome. I will just explain to myself, maybe they needed to have that information, it might be useful in future, and just move on. Rather than worry that, why are they not responding, and what's the problem, and I didn't send it very well, or the message was not, because they're attached to the outcome.
Well, this is so good. Yeah, thank you so much. It's really paint the picture of the both extremes.
Really what?
We're able to really paint the picture of both extremes, how you can be so focused on manifesting your reality, and by doing that, you push it further away from yourself.
Exactly, you push it further away because you're desperate. You're desperate. Being worried that it has not happened is a sign you're desperate. It is a sign you're desperate. Because if you have it, will you be worried? But you're supposed to be in that state as if you have it already. So you should be at peace, even if you have not seen it.
So good.
But because we want it now. And then we allow the physical reality to dictate how we feel. In fact, I think that's one of the biggest challenge we have, allowing the physical reality to dictate how we feel. Rather than seeing with our mind eyes, we are seeing with our physical eyes.
So good. Yeah. Thank you so much, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
As Mercy, okay, I think Mercy has spoken. Oladipo, good evening. Oladipo, are you there? Victor, Senator of the Federal Republic. Hello, Victor, are you there? Victor. Okay, it's like Victor is not with us today. Uche, Banka. Uche, are you there? Yes, good evening. So how was tonight for you?
Well, it was something that was a reminder to make me understand that I need for me to use my imagination. Even now, I started to imagine a lot of things, how my week will go, and how I want the week should go for me. Yes, so it's saying there was something that you had made mention on. Um, you said how that I should begin to use imagination over logic.
Yes.
To be honest, a lot of times people say being realistic, you need to be realistic about this, you need to be realistic
Don't be
about that.
realistic. Oh, if you are realistic,
Yeah,
you don't
because
achieve
to be
anything.
honest, when my budget for the year came out, and in my head, people were saying, but how do you want to do it? How are you going to do it? Wow, that this and that. So I had to start to bring myself out of logic to say that how am I going to do it? Instead, I now began to imagine myself in how, like, the kind of transaction that I'm expecting to be able to bring up, because I know that for me to get what I want, I have to stay in a place of imagination and imagine high ticket transactions to
Yeah.
bring these things to reality. Yeah, because it has to be done. I have to do it, and I cannot. A lot of people have been saying, "Oh, how are we going to talk to budget this that?" But it's the same story I've been hearing one to another. But then I have to stay in a place of imagination such that I'm able to come to a position that attention is alignment. If my attention is okay, I can do this and I can do it, I will do it. Definitely I will do it. So yeah, that was like basic for me. These are what I learned today. Thank you.
So that kind of budget should be your focus. How is going to happen? Don't worry about it. The picture of that budget, if you achieve that budget by the first month, how will you feel? Who are you going to call? Who are you going to talk to? If you do that long enough, idea is going to come to your mind on the step you need to take to achieve that budget. Why? Because you are now going to be at the frequency of someone who already achieved that budget. What you must avoid is to be around people who don't believe that budget is possible and then discourage you from even trying to do anything you think you can do internally to make that budget possible. Mercy, I can see your hand. Hello, Mercy. Hello?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Yes, go
Yes,
ahead.
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
So, in trying to visualize our desired reality,
Yeah,
right, from our current reality,
yeah.
how do we draw the line between what if what we want or what we desire, right, is not in alignment with God's will for our lives,
Give me an
right?
example of
How
give me an example of what you desire that is not in God's will for your life.
I don't have an
So why are
example.
you bringing up what you don't have example for?
It was just a thought that came to my mind. Like,
I know. I'm just trying to also use logic to let you answer that question. Why you because sometimes we use this cliche of what is God will, and maybe that's why, because that's what people use, and they remain in the state where they are, and they say, maybe it's not God will for my life. When the scripture already say he has given to you all things that pertain to life and godliness, and you say maybe it's not God will, that's why I didn't get it. So you use that as a reason to make you not to believe that it's possible. Instead of accepting that you have failed in manifesting your desired reality, you use God and religion to cover it up.
Okay.
Do you understand? Use God and religion. Let me
Yes,
tell
sir.
you, if anything ever crosses your mind, it is because it's a possibility in your life. If it ever. Because there's something that will never even cross your mind. It will never happen. It will never cross your mind. Talking of it happening to you. But if it crosses your mind, rest assured it's because it's a possibility in your reality. And that's why it's possible for you to even think of that in the first place. So, first of all, drop the idea that there's something is not God's will for you. He has given unto you all things that pertain to life and godliness. So, for example,
Okay.
it's important you are conscious of the fact that whatever you are believing God for must be something you believe is possible for you. So, for example, if you are young, let's say someone is working in a bank, he's a young banker and he's trying to manifest to become MD. He can't even conceive what it means to be an MD. Why? Because it's not at that level yet. So as you also grow in your career, you get to a point where you believe that, okay, I think I can make this happen. I can handle this. When you get to that point where you can handle it, it becomes a possibility in your life. And then you can begin to believe God for it. But when you are not at that point where you don't even have what it takes to be able to. So even when you want to visualize it, you know that it's not possible. You yourself know you don't have what it takes to handle this. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So the faith to even happen, you can't have it because you are not at the level where it's going to be a possibility. So it's important to understand the fact that, because if you use the fact that maybe this is God will, this is not God will, if it's something that is possible in your life at that point in time, I believe it's God will for you. Because if it's not possible at that particular point in time in your life, it's not likely it's going to cross your mind. Or even if you cross your mind, you're trying to do it, you won't be able to believe God for it because you don't have what it takes to handle it. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yes, you are.
All right.
You are. Thank you,
Victor.
sir.
Yeah, thank you. Victor, I can see your hand. Welcome back.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. So I actually joined late at the point, and when you called me, I was in the bedroom, so I could not speak then. But I was able to listen to the question and answer, and I wanted to ask the question off the back of what I think Mercy asked.
Okay.
Because when you said that if something crossed your mind that is possible, that is a possibility in your life.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask that, is it everything that crossed your mind that you should pursue after that? It should be a goal? Because there's this saying that it doesn't
have to be a goal. It's a possibility. It does not have to be a goal you are setting for yourself. But the fact that it's a possibility does not mean you have to pursue it. The fact that it's a possibility does not mean you have to pursue it.
So what determines if you follow it or not?
What?
Like what is not the
because
determinant of if you
you're supposed to have a direction in your life, what you want to achieve. This is where, depending on where there's no vision, people cast off restraint. When there's no vision, people perish. And that's translation say cast off restraint. What restrains you in life is your vision. There's some opportunity that come my way that I can take advantage of, but I won't, because it's going to distract me from what I want to do. Why? Because I have an idea of what I think I should be doing with my life. It's when you're not clear on what you're supposed to be doing, then you pursue different things and you're scattering your energy in different directions. So which is why it's important that early in life for people to have an idea of what their life should be about. Now, in trying to have an idea what your life be about, don't wait on the mountain and be praying and waiting for God to speak to you. Whatever your hand finds to do, do it. Whatever you have find to do, do it. Whatever you have find to do, do it. In the course of doing whatever science to do, and then if you are not faithful in the things of others, who will give you your own? If you are not faithful in that which is others, who will give you your own? So that means service to others. And more importantly, faithfulness in little is faithfulness in much. So if you are faithful in the little given to you, the much which is yours is going to come. So don't wait and be praying and going on the mountain, whatever you. That's why I don't like it when a young graduate finish and tell me he's looking for a job and is at home, and because he is not able to get a job, as I do. Go to the nearby secondary school and go and teach for free, my friend. Rather than sitting at home being idle. Whatever you have fine to do, do it. You need to understand the fact that work is not for money. Work is for development of human. So that they're not paying you does not mean you're not achieving the objective of work. Work is WORK, where one receives knowledge, not way of rewarding know-how. If you have that definition, because definition rule our life, it's because you define work as where one way of rewarding know-how, WORK, way of know-how. That's why you are idle, because people are not paying you, because you're not getting a job that will pay you. If you understand work is WORK, way of reward, and where one receives knowledge, you will get something doing, either they're paying you or not. And guess what? It is in that doing that thing that they're not even paying you that the one that will pay you will come. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right.
So I also spoke about can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I also spoke about, I think that was what like the other speakers they talk about, like affecting, not allowing what your reality, like what you see. If you are expecting something, allowing like the current realities to affect how you react. Because I think we were mentioning I think the other speaker was saying something around that when you are desiring something, that your mind should be at rest, that you should not just allow your reality to just, like, the current reality to define how you feel and your mood. And you should always be at peace, as if like it has already happened.
Yeah.
So I think like I think it's quite like, because we're talking about even logic, because sometimes you wonder that, oh, how do I do it this way? How do I do it that way? But being in that state of peace, like, and the example that I gave to about when you made an offer to somebody and you were not, like, if that's, of course, the offer went well, but even if it had not gone well, the
I'm not
way
bothered.
your state of mind was, you're not bothered, yes, but it's not difficult for a man not to be bothered, because when you do something, you want to see the result.
Is a sign that you are desperate. It's because I've trained my mind not to be bothered. Being bothered is a sign that you are desperate. Being desperate is a sign that you don't have it, and you can only have what you already have. So I'm conscious of the fact that I'm not supposed to be bothered. So it's training your mind to understand the fact that I'm not supposed to be bothered, because if I'm bothered, that means I don't have it. And if I don't have it, I will not be able to get it, because you can only have what you already have. So it's natural for us to. That's where training our mind becomes necessary. So we train ourselves in a way that we don't allow it to bother us, even when we don't have it yet. Remember, choose imagination over logic. That you don't have it physically does not mean it does not exist. It's you that is allowing what you see with your eyes to influence how you feel. And you are not supposed to allow that. You should be conscious enough to know that, no, I shouldn't allow how the physical reality. Why? Because my eyes see only 0.0035%. So the fact that they didn't respond today doesn't mean they will not respond tomorrow. What if they respond tomorrow? So that they've not responded does not mean they will never respond. And you know the interesting thing about some of these guys? They won't even respond sometimes. It's their staff that will call you, because most of the time they don't respond to their messages. They just forward it to a staff that will call you. So why should you be worried? So it's training, actually. It's training. I must say it's training that you understand the fact that worrying is a sign that I don't believe is done. So I don't want to worry. So I have clients that say, they will pay for so and so. If I chat them and they say they will and they have not, after a while, I don't even bother chatting them again to ask when they will. Why? If they don't, someone else will come and pay for it. So why should I be worried? Because I know they are not the only one that will do it, that someone else will also come. I don't know if I answered that question.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Well, I also want to ask again that what do you do when something like negative happens? Like, how do you snap out of that low frequency? Because for the last 1 week,
I do breath work.
No, this one is not just like when there's an event that happened, like they have like a major setback. For example, you want to do a particular work now, and your generator just stop working now, and just say it's a big generator and it's preventing things that you should be doing. So it's a physical.
I'm
It's
so
not, it's
conscious. In fact, I'm so conscious of that kind of incidents, I see it as a test of my readiness to receive what I'm believing God for. Because that the generation does not work and I'm not able to do that, it does not mean I will not get the outcome of that thing that I want to get at the end of the day. Because I know that all things work together for good. I know if I maintain my frequency, even though I have that disappointment, it's a detour. I'm going to come back to the right direction and get to that destination at the end of the day. I'm conscious of that. That consciousness does not make me to be worried, even though I'm not able to do that because generator had issue. Because I'm conscious of the fact that I'm going from Unilag. I want to go to VI. The car, instead of from Unilag, pass through Abat Macaulay, from Abat Macaulay, go to Third Mainland and go to VI. But I decided to go to Ojuelegba, from Ojuelegba to Lut. That's a detour now. It's going to come back eventually. So I will come back from Lut and enter Surulere, from Surulere, enter Erikmo, enter Eko Bridge, from Eko Bridge. But still going to the VI. It's a detour. I'm going to find myself back in VI. So I'm conscious of the fact that it's a detour, that if I maintain my frequency, I will still achieve that desired reality in spite of this disappointment. It's now consciousness of the fact that what has happened does not mean I will still not achieve it. Is that consciousness? And I like you asking this question because it's the natural tendency to feel bad, feel unhappy and sad because this has happened. But the way you react or respond will show if indeed you believe that it is being manifested in spite of this disappointment. Disappointment, every time you have it, is coming to test if you believe in what you are believing of has happened. In fact, you should be very interested in the way you handle disappointment. Because you believe that everything works together for good. Who told that disappointment is not good? If you see disappointment as something good, this thing is about interpretation. I always use the example of one day I was going for a program, it's a radio program, and I was late. I got downstairs. The office assistant that cleaned the car, I think it touched the radio or something, and the radio was playing and the battery died because the radio was on for a while. When I got downstairs and I observed that, I initially felt bad and I wanted to snap at him. Somebody just told me, what if this radio, this issue that he has to go and call a battery charger to come and jumpstart the battery? What if it's this has helped you to prevent an accident on the way? Suddenly, immediately I thought of the fact that this could be helping me in a way. Suddenly, I feel like thanking him for even the delay. Now, not because I like what he did, but perspective. I just changed my perspective about that thing. And that made me not to react. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So it's perspective. It's the way you interpret the situation that determines how you react. Nothing is anything until you give it a meaning. Nothing is anything until you give it a meaning. You are the one that give it a meaning. And when you give it a meaning, then you begin to react.
Let me paint a personal example because this one happened to me recently.
Go ahead.
I struggled. I'm just trying to overcome it. Like I went for an event and they stole my personal gadgets, and I was meant to prepare for an exam, or is preparing for an exam, but they've stolen it now and it has set me back. I have to start sourcing for electronics here and there.
Hold on. You've given it a label. How did this set you back?
Because I meant to study with the laptop, with the gadget.
Have you written the exam?
No, not yet.
So how did you set you back? How did you conclude?
It's not making me to study effectively.
I'll write the exam first before you claim it set you back. How did you conclude?
No, like I have to prepare for me to.
You're not getting my point. You're not getting my point. You have already given a label. I don't want to give that label. Don't give that label. Begin to think of how, someone chatted me today. He needed money. He said a laptop had issue. He needed money for me to give him money for battery to be able to fix the laptop and get the file. And I asked him, the file inside is, where did you get it from? Is it not online? Download it on your phone now. Can't you download it on your phone? So are you telling me that your colleague that doesn't have laptop will not write the same exam you want to write? I was telling him, why are you saying because you needed money to fix the laptop, that's the only because you have exam and your file is inside? Where did you get the file from? Go and download it, and people that don't have laptop, they're not going to write that exam. That's what I told him. He said, thank you, I'll go and sort it out. Instead of, because he thinks he has an uncle that can give him money to buy battery. That's why he's not thinking of alternative solution. You have been fixated on this. The only way I will be able to fix this. If I don't have this, that's not true. That's not true. That gadget that is lost, some people don't have it and they will write that exam and they will pass. So you already give it a label that is setting you back.
But
that
for example,
label,
like I wanted to practice.
What did you say?
Okay, I wanted to practice something like a CBT test. I wanted to get used to like answering the question on a laptop, or because the exam is going to be a CBT test. Compared to if I'm using on my phone, it's not the same.
You can use a phone.
But it's not. You're not.
You know what?
The preparation is not the same, sir. The preparation is not the same.
The fact is that you can use the phone. You are now redefining. You are the one redefining and saying preparation is not the same. That's redefinition. The fact that you can do this thing on your phone. I'm trying to help you to see something. You are giving a label that will affect your preparation already. Because you have not done the exam. You're already giving a label that will affect your preparation. And I hope it's not an exam that you want to use to jackpot to the US. Because I know people in your field, they always want to the US. I'm just pulling your leg. You know? So what I'm trying to say is that do not give it a label. You're already labeling it as the cause of failure. Don't label it as setting you back. That is exactly what I'm trying to say, that we face a lot of, okay, I did some transaction last year, and quite frankly, it was a bit challenging. We lost some money because something happened in the UK. So my partner was calling, say, how do we forget about this money? How do we lose it? I was telling him that, look, sometimes you lose, sometimes you win. Let's move on with this. I believe we can make this money this year. He said, you think so? Because the way I'm seeing it, as far as I'm concerned, it has happened. All things work together for good. What made it happen? We've identified what made it happen. We know what to do to prevent it from happening. Let's move on. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. Let's move on. Because it has happened now. Do you want to kill yourself?
Because now I'm trying to track the thief. I've gone to collect the CCTV camera.
I'm not saying you should not make effort to recover. I'm not saying you should not make effort. I'm only saying don't give it as a reason. Don't label it that is setting you back. Redefine it. Because all things work together for good. All things work together for good. So redefine it. Don't say it's setting you back. The way you define it is so important. Nothing is anything until you give it a coloration. Nothing is anything until you give it a coloration. You're already giving it a label. That's why I say I've written the exam. How do you say it's setting you back? How do you know?
No, it's in terms of preparation now. Like if I'm using laptop now, I'll be more.
I'm just trying to tell you not to have. I don't want it to affect your mind, the preparation at the level of your mind. That's what I'm saying. So you won't be saying, if I have a laptop now, I'll have gone far. If I have my laptop now, I will have this. If I have my laptop, you don't have it. Accept that reality and move on. But learn the lesson of what happened so you ensure it doesn't happen to you again. Where were you when they took your laptop? What were you doing?
It was a conference, so there was a tea break. I went to go and collect sandwich and drink
you left
before I came back.
Hey, I can't make that mistake.
But it was my bag, it wasn't open, it wasn't exposed.
No, if I'm going to leave that place, I can't carry my bag, I'll give the bag to someone.
It was a rookie mistake. I never believed in it. I was thinking we're not many.
Even in church, I won't make that mistake. I won't make that mistake. If I'm praying in church, my phone and tablet is on my hand. I'm praying. I know church, a lot of people in church are sick. Not everybody is healed. So some people come dead of still. So I don't joke with that at all. I will give my laptop to someone, get someone to be looking at it. Recently, we had a program. My wife was doing inter-house sport. So they called me to come to the field to give gifts to children in the school. So I left my phone, my tablet on the table. I was not comfortable. While we're waiting, I was looking. I just went back. I gave it to my colleague. My colleague was seated close. I gave it to him to hold this iPad. I kept put the phone in my own pocket and gave the iPad to him. I went back. Why? Because it's supposed to be a lot of children with few parents because it's in the hotspot. I'm not going to leave it. Why? Because I know we're in Lagos. And everybody there, it come for, I mean, please learn the lesson. And I'm going to write the exam, I beg.
Okay, sir.
All right. Mercy, I can see your hand. Is it the one you did before or another one? Mercy?
Oh, yes, sir, it's the one I did before.
Before, okay. All right.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone. See you next week. Next, we are going to be discussing something very interesting. And it says, to manifest, you need to read the last chapter of your life.
Read or what? He said, I didn't get the topic, sir. He said
to manifest, you need to read the last chapter of your life.
How do you know the last chapter?
We'll discuss it next week.
I can't wait. please, let's share the content for last week with our network. I'll send it to the group chat.
The idea basically is that there's something affecting you today that is based on what has happened to you before. And that is a challenge that you need to deal with, And if you don't deal with it, you'll be shocked that is actually could be a block hindering the manifestation of your desired reality. But we'll discuss in detail next week. Have a great week ahead, and bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.